This week I travelled all the way over to London to go thrifting. I went to Bexley Heath, Belvedere, Erith and Crayford, and I literally went to every single charity shop in all 4 of these towns. So get ready because there are a whole lot of charity shops in this episode. Oh, I think this is the earliest I've ever gone to the charity shops. It's 9 o'clock and they're probably not even open yet. But I've just hit Bexley Heath. I'm currently in the Asda car park and I'm gonna hit all the ones in Bexley. Then I'm gonna head to them other ones that we went to in last episode that we went to Bexley Heath because they were pretty sick last time. I got them Gant jeans and that's the current plan. So our day of thrifting begins in Bexley Heath High Street at this Scope charity shop. I was so gassed to go inside this Scope charity shop because it was actually shut last time we went to Bexley Heath. But we started off this Scope charity shop quite successfully with these pair of Converses. I really liked the embroidered stuff on the side and the little word said made with love. They were really nice shoes, but I don't think they were in my size. I then found a very interesting pair of shoes. Kind of reminded me of something that Yeezy might come out with. But then I found this really nice coat. Oh dear, that's probably one of the oldest jokes in the book. But there was a lot of ASOS stuff in this charity shop, which is pretty typical for Scope charity shops. But they also had this brand called SWD, which I've never seen before. They had a body warmer of it, which I thought was quite cool because you never really get to see body warmers like that in charity shops. But it weren't going to be worth anything to me. And as well, they were selling it for £20, which I weren't going to be paying. But then I found this really nice thick cream overshirt, but it's literally what I've been looking for so long. But the only thing was that it was £20 and as well it was a size XL, so I weren't going to be able to fit in it. I was so gutted. And then I found another one and it was a Lyle & Scott one this time. I don't know why I didn't pick this up. I think it was because it was £30. That's what really put me off. And as well, I weren't too keen on the black, the grey and the kind of white colourway. It weren't really a bit of me. But then pretty much behind that was this Adidas jacket. I thought it was going to be a vintage one, but unfortunately it wasn't. I did think it looked quite cool though. But I headed over to the shoes and this is where it really got nuts because I found a pair of Air Forces and they weren't just Air Forces, they were pretty much brand new Air Forces. They had extremely minor creases on them and I was thinking, oh, these are going to be £50 or something like that. They were £25. As soon as I see that, I knew I was going to be getting them because my Air Forces are a little beat, you could say. But then I just went through the jumpers and they had a couple long sleeve t-shirts on this rail, but to be honest, there wasn't really anything too interesting on it. But then went over to the t-shirts and I found quite a few t-shirts I did like, including this one. The only thing that put me off was that it was orange. Like I wouldn't really wear a bright orange t-shirt. I then found these 2 tie-dye t-shirts, but to be honest, I'm not the greatest fan of tie-dye. If they weren't tie-dyed and they were still just the original white t-shirt, I definitely would have picked them up. But I then headed over to the jeans and the jeans were quite dry, to be honest. There weren't really too much going on in there. But I headed out of there very happy with my purchase of my Air Forces and I headed in to this cancer research shop. The jacket selection in here was a little bit poor apart from this like navy trench coat, which was only £5 to be fair, which really isn't too bad. I then got juked by a 2021 Nevada t-shirt. I thought it was going to be a vintage one, but of course not. But apart from that, in this charity shop, it was pretty dead. So I then headed literally down to the other end of the high street into this Elena charity shop, which I feel like we've picked up stuff in here before. So I had big hopes and we started off with a bang with this vintage Ralph Lauren polo sport like jacket. It was a size large and it did really look like a size large. I did really like that patch it had on the front. It was £8 as well, which really wasn't too bad. I really did and ah it for a very long time. The whole time I'm looking at these clothes now, in the back of my mind I'm going, should I buy that jacket? Should I not? But in the end I decided not to pick it up. I think the condition just wasn't very good on it. I think that's what really put me off. I then did find these really cool pair of Converses. I haven't seen these type of Converses in ages. I don't even, do they even make these anymore? They must do. But apart from that Ralph Lauren jacket, in here was a little bit dry. There really wasn't anything else going on. There was a Reebok exercise ball though, but that was about it. I then headed another couple of shops along into the next charity shop and it was shut until 10, and at this time it was only 9:30 and I was thinking I'm not waiting till 10. God dear, look at my hair. But very successful trip. Got a pair of right, these Air Forces are pretty much dead stock. Like where are the creases in these? Hopefully we have exactly the same success here as we do in Belvedere, which we're going to now. So let's head out. Right, I'm here. I've made it. I don't know if you can park where I've parked, but you used to be able to like 8 years ago, so I'm assuming you can still. But let's go head in to the next charity shop. And this next charity shop I think was like a pets charity shop. I'm not really too sure, to be honest. I know it was one that I've never seen before, but as soon as I got in there I thought I found something Burberry, but no, it was just a random jacket. Got a little bit excited. I get way too excited when I see tartan on the inside of jackets. I just instantly think, oh, Burberry, and there has been one time that it's actually come true. But I started going through the jeans. I did find a pair of Hackett jeans, and but I don't really know what Hackett jeans sell for. They were £7, which probably, I'm not too sure, is actually quite a good deal on those. And as well, I could have worn them myself. Like, I probably, if I was to buy them, I would have bought them for me. So I probably did miss out a little bit there, but what can you do? But literally, that was it for this charity shop. This charity shop literally had nothing else going on. But I headed about 2 shops down to this Bernardo's charity shop, and I started going through the t-shirt. I found a DeWalt t-shirt. I didn't know DeWalt made merch. Then found a little Fortnite t-shirt. You gotta love a Fortnite t-shirt in a charity shop. Started looking at the jeans. There was really no jeans in there. I had a little look at the shoes, and once again, nothing really too interesting. And once again, like the last charity shop, I cut very quickly. I then headed into the next charity shop, which once again I think was a pets charity shop. I did actually walk past this place about 3 times. It didn't look like a charity shop to me. I thought it was like a general kind of shop with just like loads of different stuff. But no, it ended up to be a charity shop, and straight off the bat, I got a little bit gassed for a second. I thought I found something CP Company, and then I took a big crash down to reality when I realized it was just some random jacket. Well, I don't even know why I thought it was going to be CP Company, to be honest. I then found quite a cool green t-shirt. I think it was about £6 though. I think that's what put me off. It was quite cool. I did really like those patches on it, but green is just another colour that I don't really wear. Then we drove down into Erith, and the first charity shop that we headed in was this Scents charity shop, and it was an absolutely gigantic Scents charity shop at that. And the first thing I see was something that I've said about getting for so long, and that was a Varsity Jacket. And this Varsity Jacket was really nice. It said Canterbury of New Zealand on the back. It was really cool. I don't know what Canterbury of New Zealand is, but once again, the color scheme was really cool on it, and as well, them arms were like leather. But the next thing I found was this Nike jacket. It was defo fake though, because the stitching on the badge was horrendous, and as well, the badge was way too low. I then found a brown Ralph Lauren polo, which looked once again a little bit suspect, so I didn't end up picking it up. But I do really want to get a brown Ralph Lauren polo, or a brown polo, or a brown something. I've said about it for weeks now. Then I found a Monkeys t-shirt. God, the Monkeys, what a throwback. I haven't thought about them in so long, but it seemed like it was a pretty new Monkeys t-shirt. If it was a vintage one, this would probably have been worth loads, but where it was a new one, I gave it a miss. I then tried to Google this Varsity Jacket. I literally could not find anything about it. I then, while I was Googling it, could see down the arm, all the leather on the arm was cracked, so I didn't end up picking it up, which was a little bit disappointing, but it is what it is. I then headed into this community hospice charity shop and headed to the back to where all the menswear was. The first thing I come across was this white Puma track jacket, and for a white track jacket, it looked like it was in really good condition. I then found a printed Nike t-shirt in this kind of cool green, but it didn't have a tag on it, and that was the only thing that put me off. If it had a tag on it, I probably would have bought it. I gave up looking through all of the stuff in here though, to be honest, because the owner or whoever was behind the till was literally stood about 30 centimeters behind me the whole time. Who knows why? Weren't doing anything wrong. I was literally just looking at the clothes. You can see him here how close he was stood to me. Then headed down to this second chance charity shop, and as soon as I went in, the woman went, "What are you looking for?" Thought that was a bit of a weird question for a charity shop. Well, personally, I'm looking for some vintage Nike or Adidas if you got any, but I don't think you're going to. I didn't actually say that. I felt like saying that though, but there was literally nothing in this charity shop. I walked in and pretty much walked out, because as well, it stunk of smoke. But I then headed to our 4th town of the day, which was Crayford, and into this gigantic cancer research charity shop, which you've got to love. This is one of the best charity shops about, hands down. It's defo one of my favourite to go to, because you always find some good stuff, and as well, it's normally quite cheap. And today was no exception to both of those rules. I found these really cool like all teal pair of Vans. I think they were only like £8 as well. I was very tempted to pick them up, but I just didn't think I'd really be able to get much for them, to be honest. If they were my size though, I might have considered picking them up for personal, but I think they were like a size 8, so they would have been way too small. The only other really cool thing in this charity shop were all of these like vintage like film cameras, and I think there was even some vintage digital ones in there. I thought they were sick. I was tempted to buy one, but the last film camera I bought in a charity shop didn't end up working, so I weren't feeling taking that risk again. But then headed round to the the Elena charity shop, and it got a little crazy in here. It got a little nuts. There were some banging items in here. I think the first thing I see were all of these hats on this little stand. I really like this Los Angeles like sheriff one. I was gonna pick this up for personal originally, but looking at it after, I don't know if I'll keep it. I probably will end up selling it, to be honest. But below that was this Mercedes-Benz hat, and even below that was this animal hat. And as soon as I see that animal hat, I knew I was gonna buy it, because I've seen quite a lot of animal stuff recently. Like, it's quite like Y2K in it. Like, I feel like that's where it's got its big kind of like come up for recently. I then found a Chicago Bulls jersey, which I thought was so sick. I've wanted to buy like a proper basketball jersey now for so long, and when I see this, I knew it was going to be mine. To be honest, I probably won't wear it. I'll probably end up selling it, but I thought it was cool that I found it. But literally a couple t-shirts along from that, there was this like graphic t-shirt which I thought looked so cool. The only thing was that it was just on like a Fruit of the Loom or like a Gildan tag, and if it would have had its own tag from like the brand that it was from, I probably would have picked it up. But the Gildan tag was what really put me off, to be honest. But I then headed over to where all like the sweatshirts and all the jumpers and all the stuff like that was, and I come across this Gan like quarter zip, and as soon as I see that it was in my size, I knew I was gonna buy it. Very successful charity shop, that one. So we got the Chicago Bulls jersey, which was £4 in the end, and that is going to be going on probably eBay. We have the Gan quarter zip, which if it fits me, I'm keeping it. If it doesn't, this will be on Depop. The Mercedes hat, which is actually a proper Mercedes one as well. It's even got like the Mercedes tag and that as well. This is probably a Depop job. And then we've got the animal print hat. If this was in a black, 100% this would be mine, but I'm not the greatest fan of camo. And finally, we have the Los Angeles County Sheriff's hat, which, to be honest, I think I'm going to keep. A very successful episode. I really do hope you have enjoyed it, and I do hope to see you in another one.